Hey guys, Gareth Jones here from Art of the Playboy, and I'm here with my fine friend and ultimate gentleman partner in crime, Mr. Johnny Cassell.
Hello, listeners.
Johnny, hello, great wide world. How are you? The reason I've called you here today is because we have this upcoming workshop on the 23rd of November in Gay Paris, which I am super excited about. And what I really wanted to do is just talk to you, Mr. Cassell, about what this is, why this is so different, and really get into the details of why this isn't just a boot camp, or why we're not just teaching a class or a lecture. You know what I mean?
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, why this is different is because it's not going to be, a tiresome day where we sit down with a load of psychological pop junk theory. That's not what we're about. We're about working very closely with our students and really refining their skills and the art of meeting and growing their relationship with someone they want to be with. This isn't like some sleazy pickup boot camp. Those days are over. I'm sure that you agree, Gareth, of promoting those sort of events.
Absolutely.
This is all about refining the art of your approach. Getting your approach down is going to take, an hour at the most. Then we can work on the more important things, such as transitioning, making positive emotional impact, and making her actually want to see you again. We want to make impact that no other man is making in her life.
Yeah, I think you used a great word, refinement, and I think that it's such an excellent concept, because you're completely right. When we do talk about the approach, it really doesn't take that long to get an approach nailed. I mean, we can sit around here and collect dollars upon dollars and do 10-hour approach workshops, but really it's not taking that long. The real trick is, once you get that approach solid, which I agree will take about an hour, 2 hours, is refining further on and forward through the interaction by making emotional connection, by, exactly like you said, making her want to see you again. And I think with this workshop, when I had it in mind, when we were kind of brainstorming, I think what we can really do is prove to people, by setting a goal, by having this dinner, that the approach is minimal, and that you can build these connections and make these plans and use spontaneity and romance and emotional connection to create an activity that you're actually going to do, a useful thing. And not just kind of walking around and stuffing your brain with theory, the lectures where you stand in front of a whiteboard and you make people take notes for hours. It's smart for some circumstances, but for just going out there, talking to chicks and getting numbers and making plans, it's really, really not necessary. And I think that we can show that in a classy and a stylish way as well.
Absolutely. I mean, what also, Gareth, I'm sure you agree, is, any student has been on a workshop or a boot camp or any sort of event put on by a company, they will know the true value that lies in those workshops is actually in the practical side of things.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're doing here, we're stripping away the boring stuff, and we're really going to give you our personal, close to one-to-one attention to really push through those barriers.
Yeah, I completely agree. The being able, as a coach, you've been in this for what, 8 years? I've been doing this since 2007. Our value as of us as coaches is to be able to be with you in field and say, don't do this, do that, do this, do that. And I think really by moving it forward and by focusing on that element of refinement, it's going to make a world of difference. So let's discuss a little bit about the structure and why it is different than waking up at 8 in the morning and going to a lecture hall and sitting there and taking notes for another 5 hours. Because I don't know about you, I'm certain you're probably fairly studious because you're very smart, but I am not studious in any capacity. And so, that kind of lecture-oriented material really isn't my style. So what I thought we would do is we're going to meet at a cafe. We're going to sit down like friends would sit down. Like, you know, when you have friends and you learn things from those friends, and it's fun and it's relaxing and it's interesting and it's enjoyable. What I want to do is I want to go and I want to sit down at a cafe and I want to talk about our plan. You know, I want to talk about the day game that we're doing and our approaches, and then moving forward and building connections and getting numbers, and then moving quickly to that directed close, moving quickly to that, hey, listen, we're going to be out with our friends later on at so-and-so a place. Why don't you come and meet us? The more the merrier.
That's right. And we've capped this, you know, at a certain number of students. We're not looking to have 15 to 20, 25 people on this thing, because that just becomes ridiculous. You lose the enjoyment of being teacher. You're not going to get our divided attention.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the student-teacher ratio is really, really important. I think we've capped it at what, 4? And I think, you know, 2 for us, having each of us 2 students that will, you know, exchange and work with separately, is really, it's going to make this intimate. It's going to make it fun. It's going to build the camaraderie as well. And that's one of the things that I really like about workshops. When you can work with a small group of people, you really get to know them, you know, even if it's only 4, 5, 6 hours. It's not about, you know, I don't want to be a professor. Christ, you know, I want to be somebody that has a particular set of skills that that grows with people that he's hanging out with, and that's really what I want to do.
Absolutely.
And I know we've got some people signed up already that I'm really looking forward to working with, and hopefully we're going to increase that number, fill it up, get it done, and really have room for encouragement and growth in that sense.
You know, probably what we need to discuss as well is like where we think the future of this you know, industry is headed as well, that we're involved in here, Gareth. You know,
yeah, of course.
I think a lot of people that have followed the whole community, they've seen the ups and downs, they've seen crazy things happening, they've seen you know, all sorts of cycles of movement within what's out there. But when, you know, I think it's important for us to get our vision across, you know, what we are, what we represent, and what we want to push out there.
Yeah, because you and I are very, very different from the rest of the group, and I think that's very great. And, you know, one of the reasons why we're such good friends is because we can both appreciate those elements. You know, when I mean, anybody that's followed me knows that I used to be a very different looking person, we'll say. Not a different person or a different style of person, but, you know, I had a different style to myself, and it was very functional.
I remember.
Right? Yeah, when you and I were polar opposites. And I think, you know, to see that or to come from that growth is very, very important, because being in Hollywood, you know, a few years ago in the pickup scene, being in Hollywood, being part of that extravagant, almost kind of rock star-ish group, you see the benefits of picking up in a crazy and interesting way that stands out a little bit, that is more rock and roll, that is more alternative. But I think, I don't want to say the phrase flash in a pan, because that's kind of dangerous, but what I think is important to understand is that these are skills that we're generating for a lifetime, you know, and when we interact with each other and interact with new people, we have to understand what type of people we actually are and what we're going to be, you know. And at 23, if you had asked me when I was at a club in Hollywood with long hair and, you know, tight jeans and 10 belts, was I going to be doing that forever? I probably would have said yes. But the evolution that happens, you know, especially if we move on, we get a better job, we need to, you know, streamline our look a little bit, is if I don't have, you know, a crazy light up belt buckle or, you know, a furry hat or whatever it is, not trying to call anybody out, certainly not, but if I don't have that look, does my emotional impact still work? Can I still do that? You know, and one of the things that I've found, and you already knew this, you bastard, is that I can suit and boot. You know, I can put on a 3-piece suit with a bow tie and with a side part and go to a club and still pick up and still be engaging and still have that emotional impact. You know, I always talk about going to Sydney and standing in the corner having a cigarette and having a girl come up to me and saying, "Oh, you remind me of Chuck Bass," and then, you know, saying, "Oh, thanks," and then having multiple girls come over and say that, you know, and realizing that not only you can do that, but that it's effective is phenomenal. But during the daytime, you know, in the winter, or during the daytime at a place like the Louvre or a cocktail reception, there is a place that is a place where kind of only one of those styles will work without offending, without taking away some of the credibility, you know. And I think the Louvre is a perfect example. It's a classy, timeless place. It's a museum. It's a palace that we can walk through and that we can experience the history of, and we can find romance in it. And I hate to kind of throw my old self under the bus, but if I was wearing Beatles boots and leggings and a pink t-shirt, I don't think that I would fit, and I don't think that it would have the emotional impact, and I think it would be kind of detrimental to my social interactions. And I think that is a great representation of how the rest of life goes. You know, we're going to go into this, and God forbid, but unfortunately we are going to get older. We're going to get 35, 40, 50 years old, and we're still going to want to interact with women, you know, but I'm afraid that I don't think we're not all going to be, you know, 50-year-old Robert Plants with long hair and tight jeans and that still look cool. We want to bring refinement. We want to bring class. And I'm not saying everybody needs a tie and a jacket, but we do want to make more significant and powerful emotional interactions rather than relying on outfits or personality archetypes or you know, kind of buying temperature. Yeah, the superficial stuff, you know, the buying temperature, the shock you into liking me kind of arrangement.
Yeah, some interesting points there, man. So I think we should, you know, talk about how people can actually get onto this program and actually meet us. And let's emphasize here, like this isn't something that we run regularly. Like, we don't do events like this.
Yeah.
This is strictly a one-off.
Yeah.
You know, this is done together because you know, Gareth's got a lot of students in Paris, and he happens to be flying over at the same time. I'm only across the pond over in London. You know, we thought we'd throw this event together. And so we do stress this is one unique experience that's not probably going to come up again. Well, I do hope it comes up again.
Yeah, I'd like it too, but I don't know how often I'm going to go to Paris.
But not to another year at least, I guess. So, you know, you've listened to this. You've heard a bit about like what our approach to it and how it's different from your regular boot camp, from regular companies you probably would have heard of. You can simply just click on the link below this video in the description, and you'll be taken straight to the page where you can securely book your place.
Yeah.
And you know, me and Gareth will be looking forward to meeting you and helping you on your journey to success.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. It's going to be something completely different. And I know, you know, those are such PUA buzzwords, but we're really, what I like about working with you is that you and I have a different style. We are different than the rest, and we are going to teach in a different way. I've never had any complaints. I've never had any objections. And I think that you and I together, just like you and I have taught before together, just with the success that we've had before, I think this is going to be great. So we're going to have a little bit of a meeting over coffee, discuss the day's plan, discuss exactly what to do and how to do it, moving forward with instruction. Then we're going to walk right over to the Louvre, to the infamous place itself, the most amazing, incredible thing, which I'm so excited about. We'll be doing Infield, we'll be doing footage, we'll be doing interviews, we'll be getting numbers, and we'll be moving forward to bringing them to hanging out with us later, I do want to stress that we will be given a little bit of time to walk around and see the sights on your own after the program, before the dinner, and pick up more if you want, and then join us for dinner, on a little nice champagne dinner in the heart of France, okay, at Bal Dîner ce soir, and hanging out and bringing the girls and really just having a great time and focusing that effort on that. So it's super easy if you want to sign up. Again, the link is directly below. We'll take you to Mr. Cassell's site where you can secure your spot, and they are going quickly, which I'm actually really stoked about, and I was kind of surprised, but they are going very quickly. We have very few in the single digits left. That's all I have to say, really.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm done my side as well.
All right, excellent. Well, my friend, I will see you in less than a week, and then we will get our program running.